Okay, everything is ready to go now, and it's time to start customizing things. Let's begin with the main sales page, but I want to caution you before you make any changes to the content. I strongly recommend that you copy the HTML from each of the pages in your template and save it into a text file somewhere on your hard drive. That way, if something happens and you mess up, you can always recover by restoring from your backup that you've saved as a text. So let's go to Manage and Edit Content. We'll click on HTML to expose all the HTML. We're going to then select it all, copy it, and paste it into a text file. We'll do that for each of the pages in your template. We'll use the built-in DNN HTML text editor to make our modifications as we customize the pages. And you can work in either the design mode, just by going in and starting to change. You can type in new text, replace the text. You can do the same thing with the images. You can either highlight the image and select it and create a new image by bringing in an image that you have on your hard drive, or you can select an image that's already in place on your website and just work through your whole page this way until you have it suiting the product or the service that you're using. We'll do a separate video for you on how to modify the included video that comes with your template. Again, just go in and change. And that's pretty much it. Once you got things moving along, you can click the Save button, and then you can review any changes that you make. One of the things that you'll notice when you go in to do the changes that the buttons do not appear in the HTML text editor in the same way that they appear when they're on the page. That's because these are CSS buttons, and they only display upon the actual rendering of the page, and that's done so that these buttons will remain responsive even in a smartphone or a tablet view. They'll still look good, and they'll scale up and down as needed. But it's simple to make a modification there if you want. You will be able to see it if you hover over it. It'll show up as a red link, and then you can go in and just actually change that, or you can go into the HTML itself and then locate where the button might be, and you usually will see it like this. It'll stand alone, and it will show the class will be sales button, BTTN, and you just go in, as I said, and make this change here. Let's make this let's say we're going to charge $125 instead of $197. Let's make that $125, and then we'll just go in and save it, and there you go. Now it's $125. So in the HTML mode, you will notice how the page is actually organized. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom, we've left an example here at the very bottom. You'll see there are several divs here nested, one inside the other. You'll notice that the divs that are there, the first one will be the Aztec content layout div, and that contains the other divs, the other three divs within it. The second div is the max width div, which is set for 960 pixels, and what that does is that will place this div at 960 pixels wide in the middle of the page, and it's set for an auto width, or margin rather, auto margin left and right, so that when it displays, it'll display right in the center of the page. It's important that you use max width and not a fixed width for this div. in order for the page to remain responsive. The max width div then contains a div that is called Aztec Content Layout Row, and within that div then is the actual cell, which is the Aztec Layout cell. And it's here that we actually would add the content. And it could be either text or it could be an image, whatever you want would be placed in this div. We'll save it, and if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see that now we have some new text appearing at the very bottom of the page. Now some of the divs are organized so that you'll see two side by side, and in that instance, instead of the width being set for 100%, we have two cells that are each set for 50%. And then in a similar way, you'll see a place or two on the website where you might have 3 or 4, in this case 4 divs side by side. And again, these are just nested together. So you have a content div here set for 25%, 25%, 25%, and 25%. And you can see those examples in the HTML as you scroll through to get a better idea of how it's organized. We include some examples of the actual divs and in each of these three layouts, 100%, 50%, and 25%. You'll find those in the text information that accompanied your template. So that's how easy it is to make the changes. So get started and start organizing the sales page so that it suits your needs. If you ever run into any trouble or difficulty, if you have any other questions, make sure that you check out the other help files and videos that are on your on the DNN Web Templates website in the members area. We have quite an extensive selection of help there. If you don't find what you need there, just fill out a help ticket, and within 24 or 48 hours, we'll get back to you to answer your question. And we appreciate your business. Thank you.